What is going on? Welcome back to Trending Stocks. Today I want to talk to you about Virgin Galactic, tickers SPCE. I want to give you a good breakdown of some of the data points, some of the latest updates, and where I see things going from here. Before I get into any of that though, make sure you guys hit that thumbs up and subscribe. I always greatly appreciate that. And with that, let's get right to it. So currently it is up 5.28%, a lot of good momentum, even though it is a little bit lower for the volume. So 12.15 million shares heading into power hour versus 16. But in reality, the market doesn't necessarily care. And oddly, this is all because of good old Powell and a lot more optimism in that regard. So it started off very strong in the morning. And of course, when it came down to it, he did raise the rates to 25 basis points as anticipated. And like I've mentioned on previous videos, this was more the expectation already and was already factored into the stock price. So it didn't really have that much damage that a lot of people were anticipating. And then when it came down to him giving that fun old conference at the end, him speaking, he was oddly a lot more optimistic as well. He did say that the Feds are no longer forecasting a recession. So basically this is a nice solid green light for the market to go on a very good rally because of that. At the time of doing this video, there isn't any actual SEC filings, no press releases, nothing along those lines for Virgin Galactic. So in reality, I think it's a little bit more of a correction when it comes down to a lot of the technicals, because looking at stochastic, right now there is no defined trend, but it is at 30. So kind of neutral, a little bit low in that regard. As far as this number of retail investors are clearly getting in because maybe of what Powell said, or because over the last little bit, it's actually held some pretty good support. So I don't know if that might be one reason or justification, but with it being at $3.90, it is currently between this S1 and the pivot. So $3.43 is that next big support, and $4.48 is that next big resistance, which I do feel is coming probably sooner than a lot of people anticipate. So when it comes down to it, looking right here as far as the options activity, there's $545,000 in calls being purchased versus $205,000 in puts. So based on this, people are anticipating for it to go up, and this is a nice kind of a change of events, because over the last little bit there was abnormally a lot of puts, unfortunately. But still, as far as overall, there is 71% of all the options activity today is bullish. If you're one of those that likes to look at the calls and the grid and all that fun jazz, it does look like by the end of this week, it is anticipated to be around the $4 range, and going into next week up to between the $4 to $4.50 range. So when it comes down to options activity, like I said, it is just merely a sentiment. It does not move the stock price. So once again, just be aware of that. I'll give you guys a good overview. As of right now, there is no transactions that did occur on the secondary market over $100,000. As far as dark pool transactions, there is a couple, so roughly around 5 different transactions. So of course, a lot of people don't necessarily like the dark pool because it is very much linked to shorting. So I'll give you guys a quick overview on that, especially as well leading up until their Q2 earnings. I feel that there's a lot of shorts because they are anticipating for it to be fairly negative. I'm going to touch on that as well. So short score is currently 76, utilization is 82.52%, and looking right here, so shorts are currently increasing 729.39 thousand shares, 25.33% of the free float is being shorted. That is crazy. And especially with what Powell just said, I do feel that a lot of shorts over the next little bit are going to be slowly exiting. And as obviously Virgin Galactic goes on a nice rally, 61.26 million shares overall are being shorted, and 5.09% is the cost to borrow average. So fairly low in that regard. But like I said, August the 1st is their actual earnings right around the corner. There is several different things people do care about, one of which is earnings per share, revenue, and future guidance. So when it comes down to earnings per share, currently there is 11 analysts that have given estimates and have a consensus of negative 51 cents. So once again, just be aware of that. It was previously negative 52 cents. So there was one analyst that turned a little bit more bullish on Virgin Galactic. So once again, that is a good thing. As far as revenue for Q2, based on 9 analysts, it looks like the consensus is 2.69 million among the 9. It was previously 10, so it did look like one exited their position, but that was more of a bearish analyst. And you can tell that because of the average estimate going from 2.52 to 2.69 million. So let me know you guys' thoughts on that. When it comes down to some analysts that have changed, it doesn't look like it's been anything associated to any ratings, because the last rating was Bank of America, a sell, and that was 26 days ago by Ronald, even though he does have a 57% success rating. On a side note, if you are looking for a lot of good compiled information such as this, take a look at Interactive Brokers in the description below. It is free to have all of this information information, especially for the earnings right around the corner. Definitely very advantageous. But like I mentioned, with shorts increasing, they are very much doubtful about this rally going up. So let me know your thoughts on that. Do you think that this is going to be sustained, or do you think it's going to pull back down? What's your guys' viewpoint on that? Of course, when it comes down to a lot of things that's floating around on Reddit, a lot of people seem to be very optimistic. In my opinion, of course, they do feel after the Q2 earnings, there is going to be a nice pump with the stock. And I feel that given the nature of what just came out from Powell and just everything that's been floating around on the market right now, I kind of do agree with them. I don't know how the Q2 earnings exactly will result in, because going back over here as far as revenue, because it does, like I say, state right here, quickly right over here, so $2.69 million in revenue, which kind of would make sense. They only had that one flight within Q2, but I don't think it would have resulted in $2.69 million. So I don't know where this is exactly coming from, but no matter what, let me know you guys' viewpoint on that. So given everything that has happened, I do feel realistically it can easily go back to the high fours. I don't know if it'll have enough to get over this 554, this R1, so that's a very strong resistance, but I do feel that this 448 can easily be broken going into probably the tail end of this week, and going into next week we might test this, but like I said, I don't know if there is enough at this stage to really break past it, unless there is a very good surprise coming from their Q2 earnings. Let me know in the comments below as well if you would want me to live stream that by any means, or if you guys are not interested, let me know your viewpoint on that, because it is right here after hours on the 1st, so August the 1st, 1600 hours on Central. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up and subscribe. I always greatly appreciate that. One final thing, take advantage of this promo with Moomoo, link in the description below and also the comments. It's free to sign up for an account. It also gives you free level 2 trading and $0 commission. Just throw $100 at the account, you get 5 free stocks plus a $50 cash reward. So this is literally a no-brainer. Link in the description below and also the comments. With that said, I appreciate you guys watching. Let's all make a lot of money on Virgin Galactic.